Hi, Sara Levin, the Artful Inker here, and I thought I would share with you a couple of variations to the Treat Bag Thinlit that I've been working on this morning. So let me pull my big shot in here and give you some measurements, and I will show you two alternative bags that you can make. So I've got my piece of Lost Lagoon here, and it is cut to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And let me move this up just a little bit. I'm not sure that you can see. So I've positioned my Thinlit so that the teeth on this side piece are not going to cut my cardstock. Let me run this through and you'll see what I'm talking about. So place this top cutting pad on. Now make sure that your Thinlit is not sticking out on either side, or it will get bent as it passes through the big shot. Click. And another little crunch. And there we go. Okay, let me move this out of the way, and we'll take a look at variation number 1. So when I take this off, you'll see that I've got the teeth on this side and no teeth here. I'm going to take my trimmer quickly, and I want to trim this top piece down so that it is even with the teeth. So I'm going to do that by lining the teeth up on the center channel here, and then bringing my cutting blade down just to the score line, and that takes that little high piece off. Now from here I need to do a little bit of scoring, and I'm going to take my Simply Scored and turn this over, and I want to score this side flap at 1/2 inch, and then at 1 1/4, and this is going to give us a gusset. And if you don't know what a gusset is, you'll see in just a moment. And same thing with this other piece that I've already cut. Move that into the corner and score it at 1/2 inch. Oops, my finger was in the way. And 1 1/4. Okay, let me move this out of the way, and we are ready to put this together. So the Thinlit has score lines, and we're going to do this, and then you want your gusset to fold in, and then this tab will be a mountain fold. Okay, and then same thing here. You want, let me make sure that I'm going to end up with 2 different pieces here. We're going to fold this, and then the gusset folds in, and then the tab is a mountain fold, and then this bottom piece. Okay, so time to apply some adhesive, and I'm just going to use a little multi-purpose adhesive and match that up here. Want to make sure that you're even with this bottom fold. Now you need to apply adhesive over on this side, and if you didn't trim this piece next to the teeth quite low enough, then this is the time that you want to come in and give it a quick angle cut. Okay, and again we're going to match this up right down here at the bottom. Apparently I can't talk and hold at the same time. Okay, so right here. Now to finish the bottom, you need another piece of cardstock that's cut to 1 1/2 by 3 5/8, and we're just going to add some adhesive to these pieces along the bottom, and tuck this right on here, and make sure that you're squaring it up And once you think it's holding a bit, let's see, I want to turn this over, and I'm going to use my bone folder and just reach right down in here to make sure that those flaps are adhered to the bottom. Okay, and that's it. You've got a little gusseted box bag that's, several times larger. I was going to estimate, but several times larger than the treat bag. Now, I have another alternate size bag for you, so hold on just one moment. To make the taller bag, you need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 3.5 by 11 and 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 2 5/8 by 11. I have already cut one of each of these, but let me run the other 2 through so that you can see how to line up the treat box thinlits. So let's bring the big shot back into the frame and move my piece of scrap paper out of the frame. Now the first one that we're going to line up is the one that is 2 5/8 wide. And you're going to use the smaller thinlit, and 2 5/8 just fits between the cut lines on the outside here. Okay, so you're just going to lay this over and make sure that you are inside the cut lines, and you can feel that. And then you're going to put the cutting plate on so that it does not come all the way to the bottom of the thinlit. So just like this, with a bit of it peeking out. It can be more, it can be less, just do not cut all the way to the bottom. Okay, so let's run this through. And go ahead and take this out and slide this back for the next piece. And you end up with a piece that looks like this. We'll use that again in a moment to finish. And now we want to cut the piece that is 3.5 by 11. And for this one, you're going to stay inside the larger box here. We're not cutting this side panel at all. So again, line it up inside the larger box. Make sure that your thinlit is completely on your cutting plate. You don't want it hanging out over the side. And then again, we're going to slide this top cutting plate on so that, sorry, I just nudged it, so that it does not come all the way down to the bottom. I don't want this crease here, and I certainly don't want the cut there at the bottom. So let's run this through, give this a push, and there we go. Now let me take this out of the frame. We don't need the big shot anymore. And with this, you're going to get just this piece that has the zigzag along the top. So I've got 2 of those already cut, and I've got one of my side panels cut and scored. Now let's score the other side panel. You'll notice that this already has a bit of a score line started. We need that to run all the way to the bottom. I'm going to line this up on, it doesn't matter where, I just happen to have one marked here, and draw my stylus all the way down. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this over to the corner, and I need to score at 3/8, so that's 1, 2, 3 of these tick marks in. Let's get started and pull all the way down. And then I want to score at 1 1/4. So here's 1 and 1, 2 more. The taller, the second one is 1 1/4. Okay, and then I want to turn this, and I'm going to score at 1.5. No, I'm not. I'm going to score at 1.25. Okay. Same thing here. I want to score at 1.25. And same thing with all of these. 1.25. And one more panel at 1.25. And now we're ready to assemble. Let me put the simply scored aside, and we'll bring this back in and start and add adhesive. So, score here, fold here. That's your inside tab. Here's a gusset. And then this is also going to be a tab for attaching. Okay. Same thing on this side. Let me think. That's going to be that side, so this needs to come this direction, in, fold in for a gusset, and then fold this down. So, add some adhesive of your choice. And add a panel. So you're going to line this up on here. And move my hand out so I can hold this top corner. And come down here and hold. I'm going to finish this, and I'll be back in just a second to show you the next step. But I'm going to adhere all the pieces. I have adhered all but the last seam, and I thought you might like to see that. So again, I'm going to come down here and add my adhesive to this last little tab, and by folding this in flat, I can come right across with this and line it up. Now, as you add each of these panels, you want to make sure this bottom score line is matching up. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of cutting to do. Let me hold this here a moment. And I want to come up in here on this side. Same thing on this side. Come up. So we've trimmed this side tab loose. And now we want to do just a little more trimming. So I want to angle this here, and same thing here. And I've got a little piece that's that little skinny piece from the side tab when it folded. And I want to come back over to the other side. Same thing. And angle these. This just makes folding in easier. So now I'm going to fold those, and time to add the adhesive, and we are done. So come here and add a line of multi-purpose glue, sticky strip, snail, fast fuse, whatever your adhesive of choice is, and then you just want to make sure that you're squaring it up so that it's going to stand nicely. And I'm going to stick my hand down in and rub along the bottom to make sure that it's adhered all the way across. And so we have a tall bag. Let me move all my pieces out of the way so that you can see. Okay, so we've got a tall bag. We've got the shorter, fuller bag. And then here's the original size bag. All of those from the Treat Bag Thinlit. Thanks for stopping by today. This is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then click in the upper left to go to my blog, theartfulinker.com.